Every hero needs his theme music. Greetings and welcome to the Soul Logistic Radio Show, your number one source for conscious hip hop and soul music. On 91.3 WVST and SoulLoungeCafe.com and the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and all the Greek things. I got the minister information. The straw that stirs the drink, the movie critic, VCU's hip hop professor, Fat Tommy, what's poppin', yo?
What's going on, Doug Evans? How are you? You know, you are the leader of our nation. You know, that's the Soul Logistics Nation. You the head of hip hop worldwide. Forget VCU. You the head of hip hop worldwide and the number one conscious hip hop rapper. See, and I don't even like to say conscious, but you know, now they got categories. I would just call you the number one rapper, but they got to make you the conscious. So you the number one conscious hip hop rapper. How does that feel?
It feels great, but you know, it's almost like an unsung hero. You know how a wave come, and we've been on this vibe forever, but you know, the jazz wave come, the trap wave come, the southern soul music wave come, and you see some of our peers jump on all these waves, but we've been steadfast to conscious movement, and it's coming back around. You know what I'm saying? We at the forefront, but we've been here the whole time, right?
You know what it is? We've been conscious so long, it's cool again. You know what I'm saying? We just waiting till it's 360. See, if you have your third eye and you up on your consciousness, then you know it's a 360 degree that everything rotates. So we back at the front again. I mean, I'm happy to see Common putting out an album. I'm happy to see Rakim working. I mean, there's a lot of brothers out there working and saying, yo, I haven't heard some new LL. You know,
MC Light got a brand new record that I'm premiering tonight at 7:00 with Queen Latifah, produced by Knots from VA. It's crazy, Fat Tommy. I'm gonna send it to you.
Let me tell you, the women are truly holding it down for hip hop. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say even the young ratchet ones, because as far as guys go, we got Kendrick, we got Drake, we got Cole. Really, that's it. I mean, I don't even count Rick Ross and well, my students say I should count NBA YoungBoy, so I count YB because the students say that, you know, him and them, they got a little movement that's moving. So I'm not up really on the youthful movement because that's their movement. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I can't jump into what they're doing because I'm 58, so I got to stay in my lane. I'm not taking nothing from them. I'm not knocking them. I like some of the youth. I mean, I'm listening to Cardi B, Sexy Red, JT. This is what I'm noticing. They all have rap skills. The challenge is, I think everybody is so scared to step outside the box. You know, when the label come and say, hey, Doug, could you make a record like this? Doug said, no, I can't. But, you know, Rowdy Rich or Rick Ross is hot right now. We need this. You got Rick Ross. You don't need me to do Rick Ross.
Right.
That's why we have Rick Ross.
That's right.
So that's the only part. I would be happy if women, the women rappers, one of them decided to, as the kids say, stand on business and say what they really want to say. Now, if they really into the Sexy Red, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B is really like that, which they're not, because I've heard them in interviews. Like, no one can tell me that's really their style, because I heard Cardi B in an interview and said, she too smart to think like that. I heard Megan Thee Stallion, she graduated from college. I'm going, they are really in it for the money. They realizing that it's a business and they're meeting a demand. But right. What makes you great? What makes you great is you give the demand a little piece of what the demand is. That's the trick. You give them that. But then you turn and give them you. You know what I'm saying? And if you really a star, the world falls in love with you. You don't have to go out and make this record to make the world love you. You're a star. True. You go out and make this music and the world goes, I'm on that. You know what I'm saying? Because Prince, nobody was wearing bikini underwear playing the guitar
and boots with boots on.
High heel boots. But he made, and the sound. No one was making R&B like that. He made music that was for him, and either you was gonna like it or not. Michael Jackson. When he left the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson was making records that, if you listen to him today, no one sounds like Mike. No one had that style. That was just what he did. That's why I think outside of Beyonce, I have to come back to Virginia's own Chris Brown. I mean, Breezy is the next greatest talent. I mean, I looked at Usher at the BET Awards, and Usher looked like somebody's dad that just had kids. He looked like a normal person. Chris Brown never would have showed up. Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston never would have showed up to an award show looking like a civilian. He looked like he should have been in the grocery store. What are you doing with a blazer on and some blue jeans talking about? I mean, his speech.
I thought he looked pretty cool myself.
Well, Doug.
But I understand what you're saying. He looked pretty cool to me. But I understand what you're saying.
As a person, when you look at the people that was behind him, L.A. Reid, Jimmy Jam, he looked just like all of them. He could have took a step back and been right there with L.A. Reid.
You didn't know who was the star and who wasn't, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I think he lacked in his career. Chris Brown I look at Cole and Kendrick and all of them, and I say, I don't see anybody in this generation that has what I would consider a star vibe until I look at Breezy. Chris Brown might be the only one, and even if he don't have the style, he has the rebellious spirit of a Bob Marley, of a Michael Jackson, of a Prince, who's just not going to let you dictate what kind of music they put out. That's really the star vibe that I'm concerned about, is the one that says, I'm a star because I do me. That's why I'm a star, because I shine and the whole world looks at me shine. If I have to go out and Doug has to call me in the office and say, Tommy, your numbers are slipping. You really need to make a record kind of like Drake. As a matter of fact, why don't you get Drake to feature it? Then I'm not a star. I have a problem. My star is dimming. The light's about to go out. And that's the difference.
Well, speaking about the BET Awards, do you feel like that was the culture's biggest night? I didn't get that feeling when I was watching it. I didn't feel like it represented the culture, the whole culture. I didn't believe that. What you think?
I thought it was hands down the worst BET Awards I had seen. I said, this is where the BET Awards have come. I haven't watched them in years. Like, I used to go in the 90s, but when I watched it, I predicted that it won't be around in 5 years. In 2029, there'll be no more. It might not make it past next year. BET, what has happened is this. And no, it was definitely not the biggest night for our culture, because what happens is this. The people that are producing it are not of the culture. That's the problem.
You can tell.
The problem is you have people who know nothing about the culture trying to dictate what the culture is. And then you have a bunch of people who are followers. If you look at the industry right now, it's made up of a bunch of fake, phony followers. That's why you see the Rick Rosses and all of them. I say this, that the victory that Puff Daddy had in the 90s was a loss for hip hop. It was in real time. It was dope. It was fun. But when you go back and look at the whole picture, he was part of the problem. Like, I can remember going to hip hop shows. I went to see Mos Def one time, and they tried to play some Puffy record that was really big. I can't remember, but I remember the crowd screaming, play the real. We don't want that. Boo, play it. And I was like, you know what? Because he's so commercial. So he took it. He did the right thing. He got Mace was the first hip hop cat with an R&B budget. But with that budget, they didn't usher in hip hop. What they did was he turned a corner and made hip hop commercial, which was good for longevity, bad for the culture. And that's just what it is. It was great for business, bad for culture. Because if you look now at how far we've come and how far away from hip hop we've strayed. Okay, so we've strayed so far away from hip hop that when people say who's the greatest of all times, you don't even hear KRS-One's name. Like, how do you not hear KRS-One's name? Like, no one's arguing for Chris. Like, he has to be hands down the greatest of all time, because he's the only one who stayed true to the art form. I mean, if I look back over the years, from the time he came in the game after Scott LaRock died, and he took this "I'm all in for hip hop" approach, no one's been as hip hop as him. No one has stayed true to the culture. No one has said, I don't need corporations. Because look, he turned down corporate dollars so that he could stay true to hip hop. He then says, hey, videotape me because I'm public. I'm free. You can tape me. You can put it on. All the other people, look, if I go tape Chris Brown show, they put me off of YouTube.
Bag for that.
Right. They close it all down. If I go try to tape J. Cole, they're going to shut me down. But Chris says, tape me and you're authorized. I give you permission. You know what I'm saying? That's good for the culture. Now, if we talk about the culture, we're talking about peace, love, and safely having fun. If you really want to discuss the culture, anybody want to talk about the culture of hip hop? Hip hop came in to unite us. We was united in this hip hop nation. That's how we had a hip hop nation. We don't have no nation no more. If we have a nation, KRS-One should be the king. Rakim should be the minister of information. Dead Prez should be the minister of defense. You know what I'm saying? And we talking about the culture, but we're not talking about the culture. What we're talking about is a manufactured culture. See, we have to go back to the letter, the secret meeting in hip hop when they said they was going to overthrow it. Now it's just like the Willie Lynch letter again. Whether or not they truly intended to destroy hip hop, because I don't believe that. I believe that the corporations just truly intended to pimp it out and make the most money possible. It wasn't nothing personal. You know what I'm saying?
Like they do with everything, right?
Right. We were taking it personal, but it wasn't personal. It was really, we see a way to make money, least in, most out. Now, it just so happens that Black people or the culture didn't care enough about our great hip hop artists. We didn't care enough about Rakim. We didn't care enough about KRS-One. We didn't care enough about Poe Righteous Teachers to push them. We didn't care enough about Chuck D to ensure that they had longevity. Because it's okay for us to like Jeezy. It's okay for us to like Biggie. It's okay for us to like the Wu-Tang. But we still got to have the full 360 degrees of hip hop, which meant there should always be a political revolutionary in the scheme of hip hop. There should always be somebody that's about positivity and uplifting the community in hip hop. And yes, there should be some ratchetness because the community has ratchetness.
Right.
But hip hop was never about promoting and selling drugs. It was anti that. When hip hop started, bass, how low can you go? Death row, what a brother know. We were against hard drugs. Yes, hip hop had a fascination with weed. And yes, we always gave weed a pass. Absolutely. But when it came, even alcohol, if you talk to the conscious brothers that was in hip hop, they would drink but not promote alcohol. You never heard rappers saying, ooh, turn up. That was a Puff Daddy, 50 Cent, that came in the 90s, ushering in us promoting liquor. Hip hop wasn't promoting liquor. If you remember, Ice Cube didn't even want to take money from St. Ides, but he said nobody else would give me none. Nobody would give me money, so I had to go over here to St. Ides. So he promoted, and then he did conscious commercials. Don't drink and drive. Get home safely. He never did a commercial that said, turn up and drink all the St. Ides you can. They showed St. Ides, and then he said, drink responsibly. And that's the part that we're missing now. There is no one saying, let's take Sexy Red, for example. She's promoting sex, right? Sexy Red. Nicki Minaj. In the very least, they could promote safe sex. In the very least, they could use their image to say, yo, we need to watch teen pregnancy. Yo, we need to make sure we're practicing safe sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's your image, you still have to uplift and educate your audience. And so the audience of women who are into that and young girls, and maybe they're not into that, they just think it's a dope beat. That's a time that you could use to educate. That's all I'm saying. Like, we have, the only thing hip hop has done for the last 23 years outside of Kendrick and Drake is promote debauchery, drug use, and murder. That's what it's done, and it's done to a full tier. Like, there is Tyler, the Creator, who does it, so I give it to him. So we could, we could pick and choose and find, if we dig, like digging in the crates, we could go out and find some conscious hip hop artists. Absolutely. What I'm talking about is the culture. So the culture is the overall picture from the people that's in the culture. So look at Radio 1, Black owned and operated, right? That's part of the culture. That's what we should be saying. We should go, you know what? We got a Black radio station that's owned and operated by Black people. Do you think that represents the culture? I would say absolutely not. I know a lot of people get up here and they're going to stammer and stutter. I'm going to say absolutely not. If you listen to the radio station, she's doing the same amount, if not more damage to our community than everybody else. She just jumped right on the bandwagon. Yes, now I know. She has to make money, Tommy. She got to eat. She got to keep her doors open. I hear all of that. But you telling me that you can't give us an hour a week? Like, remember they used to day part rap and it used to only come on after 9 p.m.? How about you only put conscious hip hop in the daytime from 5 to 9? You know what I'm saying? Don't just get rid of it altogether. How about Radio 1, you look at an artist and say, forget what stats say, that person deserves to make it. I'm going to make that person a star, because that's what the other side is doing. The other side is picking out Cardi B's, Nicki Minaj's, Sexy Reds, Glorilla's, Lotto. They're picking the things that they want to push. If the culture, the people that are supposed to be a part of the culture, and by hip hop culture, I'm gonna go a step further and say it's Black and Puerto Rican culture, because I can't forget about my Puerto Ricans that was down with breakdance. And I don't care what nobody say. If you got a breakdancer and there was a Black dude and a Puerto Rican, 9 times out of 10, the Puerto Rican was gonna win. I'm not no diss to Mr. Freeze or none of that. But when I look, and I remember growing up, they had all the moves. This ain't racism. Sometimes it's just the truth.
Yeah.
Like, let's look at it. If we go back, Crazy Legs and them was them dudes. They killed the game. So when I look at the culture and I say, and we all want to take credit for the culture, then why aren't we standing up for the culture? Why aren't we pushing?
Right.
Like, I hear Mos Def making those comments, but see, even that's late, because now the kids can't hear him because he's too old. So when we make moves for the culture, we have to attack the power structure now. We have to go in and hold Kathy Hughes or Radio 1 in particular.
That's what I was saying. I wouldn't even attack Sexy Red.
No, because she got to, like, okay, here's what I always said, and now I kind of differ in my old age, because I used to say, would I rather a person sell drugs or rap about selling drugs? And so I used to go, it's better for him to rap about it, because then he's not really doing it. He's out there getting his money a different way. But now I've looked and said it's far more dangerous to rap about selling drugs than it is to sell drugs. Why, you say? Because if Doug Evans or Fat Tommy got a block in Petersburg, let's say we got all of Petersburg. All the drugs that's sold in Petersburg comes through me. If that was the case, I'm still only affecting 30,000 people. And not all 30,000 are even going to do drugs. But I only have a window of 30,000 people. When I make a record about selling drugs and it goes platinum, I've touched millions of people. And now I've set a tone. And so back when we were coming up, I didn't see any danger in that, because we had such well-rounded radio and television. You know, you got to think, when hip hop was blowing up, we had Boys in the Hood. We had movies that had messages. Remember the joint where they shot the dude at the school? Higher Learning, School Days. We had all of these conscious movies, along with Public Enemy, Poor Righteous Teachers, you know, with these conscious
you had a nice balance, right?
Right. Okay. Now, when we look and we go, okay, so now Puff has taken this big budget and showed the world I can get money doing this. Then everybody fell in line with that. Everybody that came after that, except for, we can name a few, Outkast, Goody Mob, you know, there's 5, we'll call it 10. There's 10 artists that stuck to their guns, but the rest of the world chased the bag. And so what radio then did was radio didn't hold the line. Radio then ushered in the negative hip hop, or the hip hop that we'll say wasn't positive for our community. They ushered that in and never gave a little concern to what our children have to listen to. So now my son is 21. In 21 years, he hasn't heard no conscious hip hop except what J. Cole and Kendrick gave. So that's where we at. And so now when you talk to me about BET and you ask me about BET, that first of all, let me tell you how fake it is. Killer Mike is very educated, is he not?
Right. Very educated.
Might be one of the smartest rappers we know, right?
Right.
Then why did he go on BET stage and say that's a black-owned company? That's a lie. Viacom owns BET. That is a lie. Bob Johnson sold BET
a long
25 years ago.
Right,
he absolutely, are you telling me he didn't know that was a lie when he said it? He said it was black-owned and operated. That is a lie. And he said it with such vigor. Like, BET, we're here. That is a lie. And that makes him an agent. Like, if we really talking consciousness and all of us is around here really holding each other accountable, he needs to come on TV on something and apologize for lying to the youth. That was a lie. And so now you're making it seem like these white people that control this corporation have our interests at heart when they don't. It's not black owned and operated. It may have a black president. I don't know who's president right now, so I don't know what the corporate structure is, but I do know that it's not black owned. That's number one. So if it's not black owned, yes, there may be a person who is considered to be in charge, but he's not in charge. Just so we're clear, just because the black person is president of the company does not mean they're in charge.
That's true.
They have to answer to the board. So they are the figurehead that stands there and does the bidding of their power structure. So when you ask me about the culture, I will say that BET doesn't care about the culture. They destroyed Black College Day. Remember, I created Black College Day, did it at King's Dominion, was doing people like Common and Mos Def. When they come in and take it over, guess who they do? The Lox, Fat Joe, Big Pun. Now, it was a hell of a show. I'll give them that. But the audience it attracted destroyed King's Dominion. We never got to have it another day. The Bad Boy Street team was brushing in the girls' bathroom, peeing in sinks. I was getting all of these calls, asking me to control them when I said, I told y'all, don't bring them. This ain't the audience y'all want. Y'all not prepared to deal with it. That was the whole catch. They wasn't prepared to deal with the youth that they were inviting to the park. They thought that them little dudes with the blue security shirts was going to be able to tell 15 teenagers from New York, don't go in that bathroom. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't going to happen, but I knew this. So what happens is you have people who aren't in the culture, who know nothing about the culture, trying to promote to the culture. And that's what BET looked like to me.
Well, speaking about the culture, what do you think about Stephen A. Smith? He didn't think it was a great idea for the BET Awards to pay homage to O.J. Simpson when you know how they do the in memories of the people that's passed. I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think that was a good idea? I think that was the best thing they did all night. Let
me first talk about Stephen A. Stephen A. was my guy because, well, first I didn't like Stephen A. Then he hired Shannon Sharpe. I had stopped watching the show. Then he hired Shannon Sharpe, and I said, that's a brother looking out for a brother. Let me jump back on the Stephen A. bandwagon, right? As soon as I got on the Stephen A. bandwagon, he does these things like this. This is a perfect example of a Stephen A. faux pas. How is it that you saying you can't honor O.J. Simpson? First of all, America tried O.J. Simpson. He was found not guilty. So to all these black people who keep saying O.J. did it, stop it. Stop it. He went to court. He was found not guilty. I should be able to sue you if you say I did something when I was found not guilty, because everybody else that wins in the court of law, they good. Now all of a sudden, and see, we could believe that OJ is guilty, but the reason he shouldn't say it, like he could say it when me and you and him is at the bar at Chili's on a Friday night, but to go on TV and start spewing that makes the other side think we all guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like they all beat cases. And you just give a perfect example of going on TV and doing the bidding for the power structure. That's why he is an agent. I can't respect him. This is why I can't respect him. I can't respect nothing he say because I think Michael Jordan is a better player than LeBron James, okay? Let me just go on record as saying, if you ask me, I would go with Michael Jordan. But if you ask me who the greatest of all time is, I'm gonna go with LeBron. Why am I gonna go with LeBron? Because I'm gonna remember when what's his name died, young boy, Florida. Trayvon Martin died. I remember that LeBron James came on the cover of Sports Illustrated or Time magazine, put out an instant picture with him in a hoodie saying, "We all Trayvon." I remember that. I remember that he hired all his friends, sent them to college, and kept it up. So for an example of a black man and what greatness looks like, then he got his son in the NBA. I don't care nothing about nepotism. He got his son in the NBA. I said to my son, I don't care if Bronny had one leg and never made a shot and never played in college. I wouldn't care. He got him drafted at the Lakers, got him a check. That's what we need to see. So we should never publicly say nothing about LeBron James. In comparison to Michael Jordan
it's not even close.
I'm going to give the old sports thing. Michael Jordan cannot hold LeBron's jock strap. That's how, because look, Michael Jordan came out and said, I'm not going to the Million Man March. Michael Jordan came out and said, I won't reduce the price of sneakers when black people were saying they're getting people killed. I ain't got nothing to do with that, was his remarks. So he's the one who told the rapper dude, yo, I ain't signing no autograph for you. Remember that? After I just paid $2,000 for jersey, you ain't signing it? Dude. So as a person, he's a scrub to me. As a person, he left his black wife to go get him a other league. So as a person, he's terrible to me. LeBron been with the same woman, never had any infidelities. Michael Jordan, gambling, bad habits. We're talking now because the greatest. Like when I start talking about the greatest, I look at people like Muhammad Ali, who was great 360 degrees, not just in the ring, but as a person. So if we're talking about greatness, we have to add their person to that. They have to be a real person. And Jordan ain't done nothing great for us or the culture. Jordan has been anti-culture. I believe Jordan made a statement that he didn't even like hip-hop. So the culture should disrespect him. What we should have did when he made that statement was took our Jordans, held them up in the air, went to the gym, and threw them away like we did Adidas. When Adidas said they weren't going to pay run and everybody said we throwing them away, that's what we should have did to Michael Jordan when he basically clearly just takes money from the community and gives nothing back as far as I can see. He's more of a detriment to the community than a help, and LeBron is not. LeBron has been nothing but a prime example. OJ, I didn't like OJ, but if America says he's innocent, then I have to go with that. So now I can't downgrade, talk about, disrespect a black man is dead because my channel told me to. Because that's what I believe. I believe Stephen A. got the word from up high from ESPN. ESPN said don't say nothing good about him. Because why would BET not recognize him? He was a great sports figure.
Right.
One of the all-time greatest running backs. I mean,
so and lastly,
wait, hold it. Let me back up a minute. Aren't we down with Ray from Baltimore?
Ray Rice.
Nah, is that who killed
Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis. Anybody saying nothing about Ray?
I'm not down with Ray Lewis. I don't mess with Ray Lewis, but I understand what you're coming from.
Okay, but when I say we, I mean as a community. Stephen A. ain't said nothing bad about Ray Lewis, and they know he had the gun. Okay,
right, that's his boy.
That don't matter. Your boy shot Doug. You my man. You go shoot somebody. You still my man, but you shot him. You know what I'm saying? I can't then say I love this dude who allegedly did something, and you who we know did something. People will call me a hypocrite in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
And Dana White, the owner of the MMA, slapped his wife on camera, and Stephen A. didn't go in on him. It's to me, Stephen A. It feels like if white people are uncomfortable with it, Stephen A. gonna have a problem with it.
So that's the new definition of an Uncle Tom. See, because I know Uncle Tom was better than that, so I don't like to call people Uncle Tom. But by that definition that we just gave, that would put Stephen A. there. He's the one that when he don't want to say nothing to upset the power structure, but he has a job. That's what we have to keep remembering. He has a job. Think about it.
But
when Shannon Sharpe had a job, the man told him, put them glasses back on. And
but I have a job and you have a job. But I understand it's one thing having a job and then go above and beyond to you see what I'm saying? Like if the boss probably tell you, hey, look, go out there and don't you mention OJ Simpson. You don't go out your way to disrespect OJ Simpson. You know what I mean? You know, to me, he go out his way to do it. You know, the Kyrie Irving situation, Colin Kaepernick situation,
Will Smith. Man, he been on the wrong side of everything. Kyrie Irving. Kyrie said, I'm not taking a shot, Steven. You grew up with him. Y'all got into such an altercation that it required your OG to call and make friends with his dad. You was that into the man. Like, Doug, if you decide not to take the shot, Doug, I'm not that mad at you. Like, that's your personal opinion. Like, I know people that went both ways. That's not for me to decide. That's a personal choice. I could think you wrong or I could think you right. But the minute I get a platform, I'm not supposed to degrade Kyrie Irving and take it to the point where me and his dad, now me and Nietzsche not speaking because Doug didn't take the shot. Me and you done got in such an argument. I can't wave at your wife when I see her at the mall. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. He go above and beyond, take it that personal. He really took that personal. Colin Kaepernick, you took that personal.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Will Smith.
You're supposed to. As a black man, you're supposed to take it personally. He just was on the wrong side of personal. That's all. He was just on the wrong side. He definitely took it personal.
Didn't he just say that Will Smith owed the black community an apology for slapping Chris Rock? Come on,
and you know what? What I thought Will should have did was slapped him. I said, Will should show up and say, I'm going to come on your show and apologize. And when he get there, I apologize to Chris. Pow! I'm not apologizing.
Because if you truly in the black community, people get slapped every day for stepping out of line, right?
Well, I thought, again, Will Smith was well within his rights. I don't care about Chris Rock because ever since Chris Rock said that Biggie and Tupac was murdered, them two niggas was murdered he did that at the Oscars. When he hosted the Oscars, he said them two niggas, might not have been the Oscars, might have been the Grammys. I can't remember. But he said them two niggas was murdered, right? That was his whole joke that we was
they didn't get assassinated.
Right. And now, first of all, Chris, you do realize we finding out that they did get assassinated. First of all, so you was completely wrong when you said that. But also, for him to be in the culture, he knew because everybody in the culture and entertainment in the 90s really knew what happened. If you worked in hip hop, if you was in film in the 90s, nothing that you're hearing about Puffy, Biggie, none of this is Tupac is brand new news to you. This is all old news. Everyone knew that. So Chris Rock definitely had access to the information where he knew it could potentially be that they were not just murdered randomly. So for him to make that wasn't funny. It was too early, and both of their parents were still alive. So that was disrespectful. So for that reason alone, I was happy that Will Smith slapped him.
And especially he's from New York, so you know.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He knew. He knew one thing and one thing only, just like Stephen A. is from Queens. Both of them know that right or wrong, they shouldn't say it. That's all I'm saying. His opinion, let's argue that his opinion was 100% right about Kyrie. Great. It was right. You still shouldn't go on TV and say it. I don't know how you could think it was right, but you still shouldn't go on TV. Kaepernick taking a knee? How dare you? How dare you be on the opposite side of that? You could have just kept your mouth shut.
That's what I'm saying.
You could have reminded the world that he wasn't taking a knee for black people. He was taking a knee to represent police brutality. How about that? It wasn't even black and white. Kaepernick didn't take a knee for black people. Kaepernick took a knee to say that police brutality was out of control. He was right. Stephen A. couldn't back that. Talking about football ain't the place to do that. Then your show ain't the place to do that. Why? You a sports analyst. Why is you talking about the BET Awards? You a sports analyst. Why is you talking about the vaccine? Vaccines ain't got nothing to do with sports. He decided that he didn't want to make $6 million a night. Kyrie said, I'll forego my pay. They're not paying me for home games. I'm not going to play. He is worried about somebody else calling in sick. Doug, why you ain't at work today, man? Come on, Doug. We need you. The line is backed up, man. Are you really at home thinking about the line being backed up? No, you're not. He's not at home worried about the loss-win ratio because I'll come and play. Y'all told me I can't come in the building. Right. I'm ready to come to work. The job said, Tommy, you can't come in. Okay, Doug, you heard him. Go upstairs, talk to the people, tell Miss Williamson to let me back in the station. I'm not doing it from the house. That's it. I'm not doing it. If I can't come in, I'm not doing the show. And that's all. Stephen A, to me, has decided that his check is more important than us, than people, than the culture.
So last question, Rick Ross. What do you think about the whole Rick Ross situation? Let me give you my take first. First, I think I mess with Rick Ross. I like Drake and I like Kendrick. My take on Rick Ross, I think you out of pocket for going to Canada and playing that record. I think you out of pocket for it because anywhere you go, and you should know this because you've been around the world and whatever. There's no place that you can go that don't have no real cats that live there. Anywhere you go, there are some real cats there, and they'll get at you. And you should know that. So to go there and play that record, I think that was very disrespectful, and you got what you was looking for, if you ask me.
Well, I would say this. Rick Ross is a grown-ass man. He can play any record that he wants in the world. And it's just like the N-word. See, for our show, I'm gonna say the N-word. Y'all know I don't even get down like that. But I tell people all the time, you can say the N-word. Maybe your friends do let you say it. Go ahead, dap them up. But when you on the other side of town and your friend's not there and you say the word and somebody slap you, you still have the ability to say it. You just got to take the slap. He can play the record. He just got to take what comes with playing the record. Now, here's the thing. One, I think it was all fake and phony and Hollywood hype.
Really?
Let me just go there. I don't believe none of it. I don't believe that, first of all, if you come in a club in Richmond and Doug Evans is my man, and we talking a hip hop battle, and Kendrick makes a record that's better than yours, and they play it in my club, and the people are on the dance floor dancing, do you think I'm really gonna go fight over Doug is my man, but this is records. We talking records over here. So I don't believe that in real life people would actually attack him for playing that record. I don't believe
you don't think so?
Not necessarily. It would have to be a Drake homeboy. I don't think it's just some dude waiting to crash out in Petersburg to defend Drake's.
So you don't.
I gotta take that back.
Hold on, right? So you don't think that
because I worked Biggie, and I now remember riding around with bad boy stuff and getting checked. So let me stop a minute. Let me stop.
Right.
Skirt. Hit the brakes. My bad. There might be some people who would do that. But to attack you, I think they check you first because all they did was tell me we support Tupac around here. And guess what? I pulled the bad boy stuff down. Said I'm a promoter. I ain't in it like that. Yo, I'm not
smart. You're a smart cat. You know what
because it's just my job. Dude, this is a job to me. I'm not out here really like, if y'all don't get down, I'm not trying to force you into liking nobody. Y'all rock with Pac. I rock with Pac because it's music. Just because I like Biggie didn't mean I hated Tupac. And that's the way most of the world was, except in California. So maybe the whole rest of the world feel that way except Toronto. So maybe, because you know what?
He was in Vancouver, but I'm saying if you understand from their point of view, they in Canada and they see the record playing everywhere. It's all over. Everybody
was in Vancouver. Then now I really believe it was fake because Vancouver
was Vancouver.
Across the bridge from it's a jump from Seattle, and I used to go to Vancouver all the time. That's almost America. But go ahead. That's really.
I'm just saying you gotta understand that his Kendrick record is being played everywhere, and they had enough of that. And for you to come to our hometown, and then you don't need to play the record. It ain't your record, and you play the record. I can see that happening. I can see if somebody was from another state and they had a diss record against Doug Evans, and it's everywhere, it's going viral. Everybody dancing, they dancing stuff. They don't even need to dance because the record is really not that to me. But anyway, it's all over the country. Then they got to play at Flavors in Petersburg, and then the last record they're gonna play that record. You think everything will go well?
You know what the problem is? Here's the problem. The problem is Rick Ross has said too many times, called him light skinned, right? So now you in my club. See, you're not really dissing Drake. What you doing is saying that you over all of us. And you'll see now I slap you not because you played the record, because you're trying to shine on me. You're not running nothing. Like he got slapped if it was real based on the fact that you're not running nothing over here. Don't even come like you coming with that. First of all, you're not on the record. It ain't on your label. You're not a DJ. So right. There's 3 reasons why you should have just kept your mouth shut. And him getting slapped by a real dude, that's because he didn't handle his business. You came into a town and tried to shine on somebody unnecessarily. That's way out of pocket. That's way out of pocket, considering that he ain't on your label. Now, you cannot like him. And if you don't like him, that's fine. But then you don't go to his country or his town starting that. So that's the part of me that says, yeah, that could happen. But I still believe it was just fake. Because, look, here's why. TMZ be getting these videos 3 seconds after it happened. I'm talking 3 seconds after the fight in the airport, 3 seconds after the when Shorty grabbed the stanchion in the airport. I think it was Glorilla or one of them. She grabbed the little thing in the airport. 3 seconds after Extension got in a fight in the airport in LA. 3 seconds after Rick Ross gets hit. That's too much, man. I believe that all of that is just set up hype because I've been to Vancouver. Vancouver is the softest city. Next to only city softer than Vancouver is where the Amazon, where Wonder Woman is.
And see, it's statements like that I would not do a show with you in Vancouver. That's that time, and I had to go out there and save you. See, it's statements like that get you messed up. That's
I've been to Vancouver. Listen,
you don't understand.
I've been to Vancouver, and this is what it's like. It's a tourist town. And
I don't care.
It's very.
You see, while you're on a tourist town, there's guys at the house that they ain't touring today. But if you get out of line, they're gonna show up.
Yes. Well, it is possible, least likely, but it is possible. It is possible. And if it happened that way, I think he was very deserving. Stand Up Vancouver, because they should have did that. Like, I think it was well warranted for him to get actually stomped. I think if he'd have been punched, thrown down on the ground, and stomped for about 30 seconds, because look, listen, this is why. You rap all that gangster stuff, you know the rules. Don't know gangster. Look, Biggie would not. That's why I didn't understand why Biggie was in LA. I said he wouldn't have went if Tupac was from Queens, he wouldn't have left Brooklyn and went to Queens, and they side by side. So why would you go to Los Angeles? You know what I'm saying? That just is not wise. So why would you should not go to anybody's city, town, or country when you talking junk. Like, if I'm going to be on here all day saying ain't nothing cool about Vancouver, I hate Vancouver, and then I'm not going to show up at Vancouver trying to do a concert. If I'm going to talk about Chris Brown, Rick Ross couldn't come to Richmond after if this was all beef between him and Chris Brown, then he going to come and play the record afterwards. Well, a Quavo record, that wouldn't go over well for him. So he knows the rules.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man.
If he gets stopped, whether it was real or not, I don't know. But whether it was deserving, absolutely.
That's my final take. Respect where you at, man, right?
That's respect. You got to, or you will learn the lesson. Who said it's not where you from, it's where you at. And that's a real thing.
All right, man. Peace, Fat Tommy.
Peace, Doug Evans.